That's right, the Guardians of the Galaxy are back with their best friend, Thor. No, they actually ditched Thor in the last movie. Nuh-uh, it was a mutual breakup. Alright, bye. Yeah, that doesn't seem mutual. He got dumped. Welcome to Perspective, starring me, Cody Martin. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's interesting because people that don't really seem to love the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, still love Guardians of the Galaxy. I find it fascinating because it shows that weird, crazy characters, crazy space, crazy aliens can be mainstream popular. You get a Christmas alien, talking tree, loudmouth rodent, and everyone loves it. Yeah, it's kind of the off-the-cuff sci-fi that Serenity tried to be. Serenity was a sci-fi western that I thought would really catch on. Really funny, lighthearted, fun music, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. But it just didn't catch on, didn't have the Marvel backing, I guess, really made the difference. Though as soon as I saw Mal in this one, I was super excited. So everyone loves these Guardians of the Galaxy movies, so let's get into it. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was fantastic. Again, it pulled in all the movie fans, not just Marvel fans. It was lighthearted, funny, really good acting, heartfelt story, great music, the classic ensemble crew bringing everybody together, story that we all love. Not unlike Dungeons and Dragons that came out a month ago, that is super underappreciated in the box office for how good of a movie it is. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was also really good. I feel like they had a similar pace. Really, Volume 2 only had two main character additions, I would say, Mantis and Ego, which really gave us time to also build up the Guardians that we've already known. My main dislike with Guardians 2 is that the whole universe was at stake. They're on this one planet, essentially alone on that planet, but yet they found a way to make the entire universe still be at stake. This movie review is for people that have seen the movie. There are absolutely spoilers for Volume 3 in this review. Don't look at me like that, you've been warned. Speaking of, since you've seen all of Volume 3, if when you were watching it, you were thinking, wait, who's this? Where are they? What in the world was the newspaper talking about in the end scene? That means you missed Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
I wouldn't call the Holiday Special critical watch to understand this movie, but they absolutely built off of it more than I would have guessed. The Holiday Special is absolute fun. Make sure to go watch it also and get some of those questions answered if you had them. The opening action scene was fair, okay action, but it did have real stakes. About mid-fight, Rocket is shot in the chest, and he doesn't just pop back up like a cartoon animal. He's down, and people can't really believe that he's down. I love this choice that they made. It made it feel like there's real stakes, and it kind of set off the pace for the whole movie. We rarely see our main characters get hurt in movies and be out for a lot of the movie. Like, perhaps like me, Rocket has been one of your favorite characters in all these movies too. So when you see him down, you think, oh no, he's gonna be out for some of this movie? Do I even want to keep watching still? Rocket, don't die. We'll make it through it. That's a terrible Bradley Cooper impression. Instead of not having Rocket in the movie a lot, we actually have him as the main story with his flashbacks, seeing him as a baby even, before he could talk, seeing him learn how to talk, seeing him develop friends. When Rocket is innocent and he's saying, we like this guy, we don't like that. He was so innocent and pure. I just wanted to give him a hug so bad. Hug! When his closest friend, the otter,
it really is good to have friends.
She kept saying it. Every time she said it, it made me uneasy. We haven't seen any of these characters in the future, so the odds of them living past this movie is low. When he has to go with his friends in whatever afterlife he was in, and they said, yeah, you can come with us. But what does this afterlife glimpse mean for the future of the MCU? Can people come back from the dead? Like when Mighty Thor went to Valhalla? Or we could just connect with the emotional aspects of the storytelling at this point. Moving on the story, the lab break-in scene was kind of by the numbers, not super interesting. It did introduce Gamora, but the action in that scene was pretty weak. Although, yeah, it's hilarious with the guards like, I got one of those guys too. You got one of those guys? I got one of those too. Yeah, I guess we all have one of those guys. Hey, that's not cool, no. But one of those guys is Adam Warlock.
What would you say you do here?
The intense and menacing Adam Warlock that we were being led to see.
I think I shall call him Adam.
Yeah, that feeling has gone pretty quick. The choice to make him not super smart and kind of an enduring dummy isn't bad in itself, but in this movie it kind of creates a bit of an intense, in control, path ahead villain vacuum. Before they go into the lab, we see that Gamora is back, but it's an angry,
whoever it was that you were in love with, it sounds more like her.
Intense, awesome Gamora who doesn't like people. Why do you say that like it's such a good thing? With this Gamora back from a different timeline that really had never met Peter until Endgame, she doesn't have any feelings for Peter. She's still hardcore. We don't hate it. It's kind of fun to have this Gamora. It does go back to a little bit of guy chasing a girl that isn't really interested. Again, the same people. But credit to their writing, they do not give in by the end, right? I think with Peter not being able to win over Gamora again and having that connection, and I think Mantis helping him too, to rebuild an old connection from Earth. I like that those two things helped to push him to make the decision to go back to Earth. The High Evolutionary is a pretty interesting villain. He's been alive, seems like, for thousands of years. And there's got to be something about the fact that his suit is like Kang's suit where he can control gravity. Come on, that can't just be a coincidence, right? We do see a lot of High Evolutionary in this movie. I love that moment where Rocket figured out something smart beyond what High Evolutionary and his crew could figure out. Something about it was so satisfying. Rocket was so innocent, he wasn't smug about it at all. High Evolutionary is working on evolving animals, and then eventually the Guardians make it to a planet that's full of animal humanoids, living what seems like a 70s lifestyle. And when they make their way to talk to High Evolutionary, Peter says something bad about that planet, and High Evolutionary says, "That's why I have to destroy it." I thought, oh my gosh, here we go. This planet that I just got introduced to, humanoids on it, I have to care about it because this is the story of, we gotta save this whole planet from destruction, now a whole world's at stake again. Nope. A couple minutes later, just blow the whole thing up. Don't try to really save anybody off the planet. I don't care about the universe. I'm not as emotionally attached to the universe as I am to Rocket's individual life. When they're talking to the High Evolutionary, he has a friend. Wait, is that Mateo? Mateo's not his name, that's his character from Superstore.
Hey, don't you hate Tuesdays?
Yeah, we all don't know every actor's name though. It's Nico Santos. Also building off that sequence, in this movie Groot whips out tons of powers. He becomes a huge giant. He has wings. He holds everyone's guns inside him. Could we not afford for you to at least have toy guns for that? You have to use your imagination. And the main thing Groot did, at the end, he spoke. Well, now I forgot what he said. In the theater, I audibly said, "What was that?" Also, what's up with the huge shrimp dude with no mouth that is like a sorcerer, I guess? He's a Ravager and also a sorcerer? Whoa, Ravager is just Avenger, but with an R on the front. The best fight was the hallway scene on High Evolutionary ship. By this point, Rocket is back, so we kind of have the whole gang together. And they go for a long shot, oneer. I'm fully aware that I'm a nerd, but I still like these when they're done well. And this one is done right. It highlights everyone fighting. It highlights all these different angles that they're fighting at, different ways that they're taking down the guys. Gamora's using her sword, Rocket's shooting everybody down. Great one take, super fun, on the edge of my seat. The story does kind of set us up in a sensible way for Rocket and High Evolutionary to have a showdown at the end. High Evolutionary's suit with his gravity powers is pretty powerful, but there was a little nod at the beginning of the movie to Rocket having new gravity boots to help him to come down and beat High Evolutionary on his own. But everyone else comes in and helps wreck him. I'll give it a 7 for fun. It's hard to give it a higher number than that for fun, considering how sad it is. And it felt like they only played the Guardians of the Galaxy classic music from the first one like one time. For technical, I'll give it an 8. Great CGI, great detail on Rocket, detail in his eyes and in his fur. Yeah, it really helped with that emotional connection with him. Yeah, who cares? It just looks good, right? Pretty good quality action, but with some muddled action as well. Good composition in scenes, staging all of our characters together. Set pieces were usually really good. I did get to see the movie in IMAX, and I got this legit poster while I was there. For story, I give it a 7. Rocket's story was really great. A lot of detail. I don't know what else I could ask for it. It was paced just right throughout the movie, but there was still a lot more going on in the movie. The lab scene wasn't great. The development and focus on the other characters was a little half-baked to make it super engaging. This Guardians of the Galaxy movie was solid, but I think I would put it probably at the bottom of all 3 of the Guardians movies. Wildly enough, it was the second movie this year that capped off a Marvel trilogy, all by the same director, Ant-Man being earlier this year. The other movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that had the same director for all 3 movies was the Spider-Man Home series. To me, that Spider-Man Home series, movies number 1, 2, and 3, are all fantastic movies. Perhaps the third one even being the best. It is the best trilogy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to me still, by all movies being so solid. As far as trilogies by the same director, Guardians movie trilogy with James Gunn is definitely next, and Ant-Man is definitely after that. Is anyone excited about our new Guardians crew from the end of the movie? What did you think about hearing music from the 2000s in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies? What parts of the movie stood out to you, good or bad? Leave a comment. Check out one of these other reviews. Let's all get out to the movies and support movie theaters. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Who? Well, Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.